Next up then, we've got a fireside chat between two cybersecurity luminaries. We have Qualys' very own CISO, Jonathan Trull, and he is joined by our special guest, Satish Machaiah, Associate Practice Manager of a global IT consulting company. We're going to learn from Satish's personal experience scaling security and hear how his organization was able to manage 300,000 endpoints and remediate 85% of threats in just 5 days. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Trull, and I am the Chief Information Security Officer for Qualys and our SVP of Customer Solution Strategy. We have an exciting topic today. We're going to be talking about the challenges as it relates to identifying vulnerabilities at scale and remediating those in a timely manner, and looking for tips and techniques and best practices from our guest. And so with us, I have Satish, who is here and who's going to share his wisdom. And if you could just introduce yourself, your role, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, my name is Satish Machaiah. I work from Infosys and I manage the endpoint security. We have a scale of 300K endpoints and around 20K servers. So we do manage, and today with the new model of working hybrid, it is more challenging and more imperative on us to ensure that our endpoints are well patched so that we have a secured network workplace at scale.
Great, welcome, and thanks for joining us and sharing your wisdom with our some of our customers. And let's get into it. So I think the first question, conversation is just around what changed during COVID and post COVID, and then what challenges has that created for your team?
So generally, before the pandemic, most of the IT companies were on working on from office. It was all on premise, and most of them had the desktop, not a laptop. Very few. If you take a percentage, it was like 90 desktop and 10% of the mobile assets. So desktops were well protected using our perimeters and others. But today, with a new normal work from home hybrid model, 99% of the employees have the mobile assets. So now we need to ensure that each mobile asset is well patched, it's well secured, so that our data and brand is well protected, because we have too much of people who are trying to send malware, create, hack, do all other things. So we are ensuring that every endpoint, when we share to employee, it is well with a hardened image to start with. And we do a scan of the laptop using Qualys and other wonderful tools, so that we know there's a zero vulnerability. So that is where we start. So once the laptop reaches the employee, then there's a continuous monitoring of the laptop for vulnerability. And we have a lot of automations, both controlled and automated, so that any vulnerability is fixed within 5 days. That is our, at least for the most critical ones.
Great, thank you. And then as you went through this evolution, again, part driven by the global pandemic, and then obviously we're in sort of a new normal, I guess, where people are experiencing hybrid work. Did you have to adjust your tooling at all to continue to be able to provide security for your remote employees, hybrid employees? Did you have to change programs, processes? Could you share a little bit more around that?
Yeah. See, it is for every IT company. See, with the new normal, we have to completely rework our strategy, cybersecurity postures, and all whatever was running from on-premise, we had to move to the cloud. We had to make it cloud first. So, if you take an example of Qualys, It was like a agents less. Now it's all agent, and we have moved all our tools, like it could be a Qualys, it could be a Microsoft Intune. We use multiple tools and multiple agents. Everything is a cloud first, which is works better for hybrid work.
Great. Excellent. Thank you. I think the next area that I wanted to just talk about a little bit are helpful metrics or KPIs that you use to oversee your business and make sure that your program is working properly. Can you share any of the KPIs that are really helpful for you and your team to ensure that you're delivering the results that you want to?
Yeah, to start with, when you any organization, when they look at the patch management, first thing is to be have a very robust CMDB or asset management. So once you have the robust CMDB or asset management, you have a complete hold of the asset, how much you have to manage. Based on that asset count, you know what is the you can build the analytics to know what is the compliance. First, until unless you have a proper CMDB or asset management, it is very difficult to manage the machines, like say 300K 400K. When you have an asset, how you need to have a robust, then once you have that, then you have tools which can scan and let you know this many agents are scanned and this many has been fixed at this point in time. Based on that, we do have analytics and metrics around built around it. And any vulnerability that is having a true score value of 800 to 1000, or CVS value of 9 to 10, that is the first target for us. Of course, every vulnerability will be taken care, but most critical will be taken care first. But again, when you automate it, you should be also very careful. It is not a, it's IT organization, it's not a banking organization. When you take a banking organization, it will be all assets same, little bit of application and voice is same. But when it comes to IT organization, there are multiple tools and software based on the customer requirement it will be running. So you should be very careful. You should do, even though you automate, it's better you automate based on the batches, not on a large scale aggressive, because there are so many software, it can create a uncompatibility and lead to a lot of like BSA, blue screen death. So it should be very careful, do it in batches, but target the high vulnerability first.
Well, yeah, yeah, and you bring up a great point. You know, obviously, in light of the recent global outage that we saw, you've come up with a model where you're doing a phased deployment. It sounds like to prevent any type of issues. Did I understand that right? That you roll the patches out in a phased manner so that you still maintain security, but ensure that you're keeping a system resilient. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, correct. Exactly. That is what we do, a ring based approach. So we do a multiple tests, and if a test is fine, then we take it the high priority ones. Then maybe later at the big bang we can go for the low priority vulnerabilities. But we have a SLA within this 12 days. We have to at least have 90% of vulnerabilities closed.
That's your SLA. Okay, great. So that's kind of your key metric that your team works towards. Then is closing of those severe vulnerabilities. Is that right? Ha- Satish, maybe on a slightly different topic, but um, do you have a policy or how do you think about working with 0 days or vulnerabilities that are released that there's not yet a patch associated for it? How do you go about dealing specifically with that situation?
See, we work with our partners and see at least whether we can get a workaround for that. If workaround is there, then we apply the workaround. and continuously work with our partners until we get a patch. There are sometimes when we get a patch, they request us to do a rollback of the workaround and apply the patch. So it's a continuous journey. That's how cybersecurity is.
Yeah, and I think one of the most recent examples, our researchers identified an issue with OpenSSH, and while there was some patching, there was definitely this downstream ripple effect where OpenSSH was embedded in many different solutions from vendors, and patches weren't available yet. In terms of like that scenario specifically, are you still able to use kind of your traditional vulnerability discovery and asset inventory to understand your exposure for issues, even if a patch doesn't exist? Or is it a different set of tooling and processes?
No, we do use Qualys as the first tool. Then in conjunction, we have other Intunes and other tools. Whether a patch is available or not, that is secondary. But any vulnerability is reported, we do
Mm,
scan and see how much is going to be affect our organization can be affected. What is the posture of systems having those vulnerability?
hmm that's great that you get to rely on the same set of tools for identifying that exposure. Um, How, and changing topics again here a little bit, I think one of the most important things we can do is security professionals is create a security culture, right? Where our employees are aware of the importance of security, the importance of cyber resilience, and support those initiatives and those programs. Um, how is your perception of risk management, I guess, changed? How do you focus on really getting employees to be part of the security culture that you try to create? And how important is security culture for you and emphasis?
See, today with the new model hybrid workplace, every employee or a system can be knowingly, unknowingly can be part of any damage. So we make every employee part of our cyber security journey. They are part of like a cyber warriors. Each one is a cyber warrior. We enable them to know the posture of their machines, and we give them tool to auto remediate. A lot of self service is made available, and we do have trainings,
Mhm.
certifications, and encourage employees to go through quizzes related to cybersecurity, so that they are well aware of the risk and what to do and what not to do. And on top of it, we have ensured that employee doesn't have any admin access, so that they can't download and install anything and everything. It's all controlled.
That's great. Yeah, and you bring up an interesting point about self-service. Obviously, when you have as many employees as you do, I would imagine that self-service becomes important to um, scale security. Can you give an example of a self-service option that employees regularly use that maybe other companies around the world should adopt?
See, all our endpoints are co-managed with Intune. So whenever we have the patch workload also from Intune. So whatever then employees allow unable to go to settings and do a Windows search for Windows updates, and whatever update gets into his machine is controlled by our organization. It's not anything and everything will come, and we send a communication. We keep monitoring. So every day we keep monitoring whichever machine is still not compliant. We keep sending them mailers with steps to follow.
Mm. And then they can self auto remediate in essence, accept those to make sure that patches are deployed or the remediation step is done. That the employee will have to take care of that.
Correct. That
Is
is
that
one
right?
part of what I said of
Okay,
related to
interesting.
OS. Yeah, that is one part related to OS. Then we have the software catalog, where we have made available latest softwares, latest build of software. So we inform the employee this latest software is this. Say without any admin access from software catalog, whitelisted software, they can download the latest version. In that
Mm,
way, we are ensuring even the software is not vulnerable and they have the latest build. So what happens is when a machine system is patched for voice and they have the latest software, the system performs very well. So user experience is very good. When system performance is good, user experience is very good, then we have seen the
mm.
productivity increasing and employees are able to innovate and create innovative solutions. Innovation improves, creativity comes into force when the system works perfectly well.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and have you seen any? I mean, you're a global business, right? So you operate around the world. Do you notice any regional variations in terms of security culture or awareness? Do you find that there's higher expectations on your employees in certain regions versus others? How do regional differences play into your security culture and program?
Yeah, see, it is like before the pandemic, it was different because everything was controlled by IT and cybersecurity was not that important. That's what I feel because the risk is more now. That's the reason we started on a global scale to
Mm,
ensure that every employee is aware of the risk and we are like we work as a team. Even though IT and security team work as a team, we do have all types of discussions. We share our expertise, but we ensure that employees are also aware. We send them mails. Even if I'm installing any agent on a system, we do inform the employee why and what that agent is for, so that they are also aware and they become partner of our cybersecurity journey.
got it. Great. Excellent. Um, let's talk about the threat landscape, and there's obviously always your traditional threats that we face, whether it's traditional malware, ransomware, but obviously the world is changing. There's adoption of significantly new technologies. Today there's a lot of talk about artificial intelligence and more so like what does that mean for our data and protecting data, but in your role, what do you see as some of the new emerging threats that you're thinking about?
See, today there's a lot of malware, ransomware attacks happening on a daily basis. So we have to be on top of it. We have to have proper tools so that we are well aware and we have uh, daily conversations with multiple teams, cybersecurity experts to know that what is the current situation and work, put a strategy on top of it. We are always, it's a daily work. It is, even though it is sometimes it becomes monotonous, but that is how it is. Cybersecurity is a continuous journey, and every day there's a new threat. And good thing is everybody accepts there's a
Yeah,
threat and discusses it so that everybody is aware and we are able to somehow using all the tools at our disposal we are able to have a secured workplace.
yeah, that's great. That's great. What are your overall thoughts on the security or risk posed by artificial intelligence? We see a lot of use, right? Companies embedding AI, especially generative AI, within their products and features. But what's your thought on artificial intelligence and the risk that it poses?
Yeah, that's a big challenge now. We are just going through that, and we all have to be very careful on using artificial intelligence, and it should be used only for the good thing. That is what we think. But again, there are people who can use it for many other things, for that data theft, identity theft, many things.
Great. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I know we are, closely monitoring use and privacy and data security requirements for use of AI at Qualys, and definitely an emerging area where we continue to evolve our security practices. So thanks for sharing. Um, how have you seen the Qualys collaboration and partnership between our teams? Can you share like how that partnership has worked? Is it going well? What do you recommend for other companies as like best practices in terms of collaboration?
Yeah, like I said, there is a threat that is emerging on a every day, every minute. I That also is going on. So you need to have good collaboration with the best experts in the industry. In that way, we are able to do a lot of things. Like, see, before Qualys was we had Qualys implemented, we didn't have that any scanning tool for vulnerability. So Qualys has helped us to know what is the vulnerability, what is the posture hygiene, cyber hygiene of our endpoints, and we continuously work with our security team, Qualys team, and we have been able to secure our workplace very well in this post pandemic work environment. And every day we get new see what we have done on top of it is we have automated. So every day morning we get a mail, what are the new threats that is found by Qualys, and what is the new QID is released. So immediately we start working and
Mm,
automate whatever is possible. So that way we are always, it's not that once in a week or once in a month we check, we do a check daily. And we do also check how much
that's
when
great.
we get a QID vulnerability. Like I said earlier, we check for this vulnerability how many missions is applicable, and what we can do, how much we can automate, and how much should go in a controlled manner, updates, fixes, all that discussions happens, and then a call is taken.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think one of the key components of any good program is the quality of the researchers that we have, that help discover and write signatures. And we have a huge focus on putting out high quality signatures
Yeah, I do agree on that.
that help you these threats. So I'm glad that's working well for you. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's,
And then the scale is so impressive, right? I think there are few companies that have as many assets at such a global scale. Um, any recommendations for scaling a program of this size that you could provide to others listening today?
yeah, like I said earlier, to have the to manage this scale, first thing is you should have a proper robust CMDB asset management, so that you know this is my asset and this is my coverage, and for this coverage this is the compliance I should have it. So once we have this in place, then you can build the analytics metrics on top of it. So and keep checking the health of the agent also. You have some self-healing done,
Mm.
or some assistant tool which can ensure that your agent is continuously healthy. So because today with new normal, all that we can do is get from the agents. All inventory comes from your endpoint in the form of through the agents. It has to be healthy and it should be checking into the console. So once that part is taken care, then you have can build analytics, build automation on top of it. Otherwise, at this for this scale, it's very difficult to manage in auto, like earlier methods, like could be a semi-automated way or manual way. It's simply not possible when employee is working from anywhere at any time.
Yeah, that's great, and you bring up another good point, which is I think while the Qualys product is fairly straightforward in terms of the deployment, it is important to keep the agents healthy, right? I mean that is an important component, just because if you're not receiving good information, then you're not getting a full risk picture. So that was a great call out that you've automated the process of seeing which agents are reporting, not reporting, and then obviously taking action on that. I think that's a great piece of feedback to other customers.
Yeah, see, to actionize anything,
So,
we need
yeah,
to actionize any vulnerability immediately. We need data on real time. That data we are getting it now, so we are able to actionize as quickly as possible.
that's great. And then, how does I'm curious, how does your program and the data from your program influence the overall reporting up to the CISO and higher? Is the Qualys information part of your board executive level reporting? How do you report up on the success and/or risks associated with your endpoints?
See, to start with, we IT team and security team, we have almost daily call or weekly cadence call, and we check what is the complaint. Then our leadership also joins for the call. They will also have a monitoring done. Then this data goes way up to the management, CISO level management, and they will look how, and it's a collaboration, and it's a we need to work with all multiple stakeholders. Like, say there are some employees which is not connecting the laptop daily, then we have to talk to them and ensure that laptop connects to or at least open internet. Then we can improve the compliance, because it's a continuous effort. Sometimes what happens is, when we have a long weekend, we said that we see that laptop is not connecting because they are on vacation, then the compliance goes down.
Mm.
So all these metrics will be built, and we have to go and explain the management CISO why the compliance was lesser this month, and how it was better in the next month. So this type of continuous exchange of analytics, metrics, whys and hows keeps happening.
That's yeah, really good. Yeah, and I know what I would call endpoint server hygiene, is really important for evaluating the overall risk, and aggregating that at a level where board members and CISOs and CIOs need to understand and take action. So that makes complete sense. Well, we're coming close to the end of time, and I want to thank you for spending this time with us and sharing your expertise and how you're just running a really impressive program. So huge congratulations to the work you and your team are doing. Any final parting thoughts, yeah, before we close out here, that you'd like to leave, or maybe just summarize? What are the top three things that you would tell your colleagues to do?
Yeah, don't think patch management is a problematic. It's a very good thing that we do patch management on every system. It helps the OS to perform better. Our hygiene will be better and will be well protected. It's better to be always proactive than reactive.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, and appreciate your time and the wisdom that you were able to share with some of our customers and others. So, with that, thank you all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Cyber Risk series.